Hey YouTube, there's been a couple of things that I've been thinking about as I'm getting this fire ready here. You know, getting stuff ready out here by myself, getting this fire ready, there's plenty of wood in the forest. I don't really need to chop down any trees. I don't really need to do any damage to the forest itself because there's plenty of wood, new and old, on the forest floor. But here's what I've been thinking about. You know, I'm out here by myself, and there's no pressure. There's no one else here. There's been a couple coyotes howling at night. I haven't seen any bears. But the thing about living out here by myself for the week, there's no pressure. There's no one 100 feet, 200 feet, 100 yards in any given direction. Here's my point. If you don't know how to set up your tent, say in 15 minutes, say 20 minutes tops, say a half hour cleaning up the ground area, getting all the brush out of the way to set it up, get it set up, and get your family secure when there's no pressure. How are you going to do it when something happens? If you don't know how to build a fire, from gathering wood, from using cotton balls, which are obviously great to make a fire, but if you don't make the Vaseline cotton balls and you don't get the fire together, your family doesn't eat. You don't eat. I don't eat. If you can't figure out how to make a ground fire without using the fire pit, what are you going to do? Now, granted, I'm out here. I've been out here before. I love being out in the woods. I'm an outdoorsman, as you know from my videos. You know, I just got into deer hunting last year, was my first year, but I've been fishing since I've been like 5 years old. But if you can't do it when there's no pressure and you don't learn now under no pressure circumstances, what are you going to do when there's a virus in the city and there's a mass panic? What are you going to do when the power goes out for 5 days like it did in the Midwest like 5-6 years ago? What are you going to do when something happens like a hurricane, earthquake, or a tornado comes through? What are you gonna do when there's a food shortage? But most of all, the most important question is, if you don't practice now, what are you gonna do when it happens and there's somebody 100 feet away from you asking you, "Hey buddy, can you spare a sandwich?" And all you've got is what you've got, and that guy has nothing. And after a while, his hunger is going to take over his thinking process, and he's going to come over here and he's going to raid your tent and take your food because you've prepared. Now, I didn't buy all this stuff at once. A lot of you know my financial situation, but every month I buy one thing. One thing every month. I've been getting ready for like 18 months now. Some of the stuff I had because I'm a hunter and a fisherman and things like that I could pick up and this and that, but like a good American machete, one with a saw on the back that will actually cut wood. Don't get the cheapie at Meijer for $5 because that ain't going to cut it. One slice and it's done. For some of you, I'm preaching to the choir. For other of you, I don't know what it's going to take. If you don't know how to use your bug out bag, if you don't know how to use the stuff in your bug out bag, you're not going to make it. There's no guarantee that I'm going to make it. Because I might come across somebody who's going to want my stuff, and if that person kills me or my son, then he's got my stuff now, then, doesn't he? But just because he's got my stuff doesn't make him any better than he was a minute before, because he may not know how to use the stuff. But knowing how to use wood, a machete, the stuff in your bug out bag, like Vaseline cotton balls that'll start a fire almost instantly. That's the stuff that you got to do. The water purification system. That is probably the most important thing in my bug out bag. And I have 4 ways of purifying water. I have my gravity flow system, which is my Sawyer system, which is also in my water drinking bottle. I have my Catadine system. I have purification tablets, and I can also boil water if I need to. The next most important thing is food, because you're going to need food. How much food do you have? Look, I'll show you. I know I didn't videotape it, but I ate my ration. Was it the best tasting roast beef? No. But it was an 8-ounce meal that could possibly get me to the next day. And I rang the bell with a box too. How about that? For some of you, I'm preaching to the choir. But for most of you, you have stuff together. Are you practicing? Are you using it? Are you going out there for days at a time and just figuring out how to use stuff? I'll tell you what, I'll be very, very honest with you. Today is Wednesday. This is my 3rd day. It will be my 4th night. Actually, correction. It'll be my 4th day and 5th night. I'm losing track of time. I'm not sure which one's right. But anyway, it's irrelevant. My point is this. The last time I've actually taken a shower was Saturday. Okay? Now, I'm gonna bathe today. But you know, it's not like I have a porta shower out here, because you know what? You're not gonna have a porta shower in your bug out bag. You want a porta shower in your bug out bag? This is it. Baby wipes. This is what you're going to use to bathe. You get to use 5 of these. One on your genitalia area, front and back. One on your head and face. One for both legs. One for both arms and armpits. And the 5th one is used for anything else that you might have missed. There's your bath. And it should be in your bug out bag. Granted, I'm coming off kind of hard right now, but I talk to a lot of you, and you guys just rely on your bug out bag like it's going to be some superhero strapped to your back. Now, am I the greatest survivalist? No. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you all day long. I'm not the greatest. But what's most important isn't being the greatest. What's most important is practicing. Practicing and figuring out what works for me. What works for me might not work for you. I've drinking river water again for like 4 or 5 days. I have no bowel problems whatsoever. None. What if you're going to have bowel problems? What if that filter, for whatever reason, produces a side effect to your system to where you can't use this filter? Or maybe the purification tablets you might be allergic to or something. Who knows? But you're not going to know until the panic situation because you don't get out there and practice. It takes about 1 hour to make coffee. You look at the sun right now. It's just at treetop level. It's just coming across right now. In the morning, the sun comes up. It takes about an hour to get to treetop level. And at night, when the sun goes down, you lose about an hour because it gets below treetop level. When are you going to practice? Are you going to wait until the day before something happens and then you're like, oh man, freedom was right? I don't want to be right, guys. It's not important who finishes first. It's not important who finishes first. What's most important is that we all finish.